Okay, so this is about how to fix the front blinkers on a Land Rover Range Rover. You'll notice if we look right here, the blinker on the side is blinking just fine. Also the blinker in the back is just fine too. But it's blinking really rapidly, which normally would indicate you've got a burned out light bulb. And since the back one's working and the side one's working, that would indicate that this is a burned out bulb. But it's not in this particular case. First thing to do though is swap out for a new bulb, but I did that already. And so a new bulb was in there, but it's not working. And the reason for that actually turns out to be that the housing, just the thing that holds the bulb itself, has been worn out with age. This one's a 2003 Range Rover. Arcing over time eats away that contact. So to fix it, you can fix it extremely cheap. If you just got a screwdriver, you can bend it out, or soldering iron, you can lay down a new layer. I'm going to show you how to do either one of those, or you can just swap it out. Parts like 20 bucks, and you'll be right back on the road again. Okay, first step is we're going to have to pull this housing out. To do that, you'll notice right down in there, I'll try to zoom in so you can find it. There's a white, sort of a white knob spindle thing. You can see the thing we're going to change right now. This is it. That right here. This is what's bad. That little white thing. So we're gonna get to that one, but to do that, first we gotta pull out the... There, can you see it down in there? The white knob? Nope, that's not it. There it is. One with fins on it. That down there is what we're gonna unwind to get it off. Once we wind that off, then we'll just be able to pull the entire lens housing straight out. So to get to that one, I reach around behind here. And you just unscrew it. Unscrew it by hand. That's what those fins are for. There you go. And there's lots of threads on it, so you'll be winding for a while. Also, I like to make sure when I'm getting close to the end, keep control on it so I don't drop it. I don't like having to fish for things. There, got it. It's in my hand. Okay, so there you go, that's that piece. Now, quite honestly, yours will probably have another tab up here. It's supposed to, but whoever had my rover before broke everything, so it just pops out. And then we grab this, we'll screw it counter clockwise. That gets us access to the bulb. And if we're changing the bulb, we'd be ready, right? But I'm not going to change the bulb. I'm actually going to pull out this white socket. So in the back, I'm going to get a screwdriver, I'll lift up that tab, and then just pull it out. Okay? I'm going to need 2 hands for that, so I'm not going to be able to show it. And there we go, we unplugged it. That's the plug it came out of. Here's the socket. And then there's where it connects. We'll pull out the bulb, and then we'll work on the inside of it. Okay, easy. Next step is removing the bulb. Push it down, turn it counterclockwise, it comes out. Now we're right here. I'm going to get some additional lights so we can look inside here better. This is where all the contacts are going to be. Okay, so here's the light bulb. And just one thing, just as a reminder really quick, to make a light bulb light up, you know, you've got your positive and your ground. So you got 2 different points of power that have to come in. It's pretty obvious that one point of power is right here on the bottom. So power goes into here. But additionally, you have to have a second point, you know, for your ground and like, and that's on the side. So right on the side of the housing and the bottom of the bulb are the 2 places that have to make electrical contact with positive and negative for it to light up. Now if we look at what was holding the bulb in the bottom, you can see this metal guy right here. That metal contact supplies the power to the bottom of the bulb. So where does the power from the side come in? Well, you can look around most of it in the inside. It is just plastic. Obviously not going to conduct any electricity, except for one section. It's a little bit harder to see, but this metal piece right here. Now I imagine that's shorter than it's intended to be, but that metal piece pushes up against the side of the bulb when you put it in there. And it's probably a little difficult to make out on the camera, but you can see that it's not it doesn't protrude very far, and second, it's not a smooth termination on that metal piece because it's been eaten away, probably by corrosion, and then shorts and electricity just sort of chewed it away. So it's almost like tooth-shaped now. Now, there's a couple ways we can fix this. The first is you can just buy a new one of these. These are not that expensive. This is just 20 bucks. Go on eBay, you can get another one of these housings, you're going to be done. Plug it back in, plug the light bulb in, you're done. But since we can play with it easy, since, you know, worst case scenario, we break it and we buy a new one, there's two ways we could fix it. One is, and I did this on the right side, is, hang on, wait for my buzzer. So I took my screwdriver on the passenger side bulb and I just pried it out. So as to lift it, so you know when we look down here, there's not a whole lot of contact to lift it, so it comes to the side. But this one is chewed up more than my passenger side housing, so prying it up, while I could continue to do that, I'm worried I'm going to have to pry it so far that it's going to break the attachment on this housing. So second is I can just introduce and make this a little bit, I'd say, fatter, so give it more contact. And to do that, what I plan to do is I plan to use just my really old nasty soldering iron, and I'm going to lay down an extra layer on it, and that should give it enough metal to contact. So that's what I'm going to shoot for next. All I need is to get enough solder on here so that when I lay it down in there, it makes it thicker. So this is going to be really crude. What I did, I used this soldering iron on last because it is a mess. Okay, first I'm just heating it up so when I put the solder down on there, it has a better chance to actually attach. There. Okay, this is what it looks like now. It looks awful, right? I know it looks awful. Anyway, this is not a lesson on how to solder correctly, nor does this need to be cosmetic. The only thing we need to make happen here is to have electrical contact between that sidewall element and the bulb. I could have used tin foil, I could have just jammed something underneath it, or I could have did it like I did on the passenger side and just pried it up with a screwdriver. Anything to make that side point make electrical contact with the bulb should solve the problem for us. So I'm going to let this cool off, we'll put the bulb back in, and we'll plug it in the Rover and see what happens. Okay, we plugged it back into the Rover. I left it out of the housing so you could obviously see what it's doing. You can see the blinkers are working normally. They're going at the right speed, and this guy's doing just fine. So I'm going to throw this back in, and that's it. Okay, so there we go. In summary, you know, if your blinker or your turn signal isn't working, the very first thing to check is just check the bulb. Throw in a new bulb, that's usually going to be the issue. Or if it's blinking really fast, same thing, throw in a new bulb. But if you throw in a new light bulb and it's still giving you troubles, you likely don't need a new housing or anything. You just need a new connector. So 20 bucks, you can swap out the whole connector, bend it out with, or even cheaper, bend it out with a screwdriver, it's free. Or second, you can lay down some sloppy solder like I did, and it'll work just fine. Well, I hope this gives you some help, and good rides.